Tennessee in the last 10 days or so has added a couple of defensive players on the defensive line and in the defensive backfield. Do you think that's it? Do you think Tennessee might still add someone else? What do you think about what Tennessee has done recently and where things stand now?
I love the addition of Josh Shell. I think he gives you some added depth. And then even more than that, Josh, I really think the addition of Colton Hood was big because he gives you more versatility in the back end. I mean, obviously he can play corner. He did it at a high level at Colorado opposite Travis Hunter. But, I mean, I think he gives you flexibility with the other parts of the secondary. Like maybe, either he can be a backup to Boo at star or Jalen McMurray can shift over and focus his attention more there, which could potentially allow somebody like Caleb Beasley to focus his attention more on safety after working some star this spring with the departures of Christian Charles and Jacoby Thomas.
Joey Aguilar, there's been some good news that he will be here before June. Any idea of when Tennessee fans can expect him in Knoxville?
The hope is next week. He told me a couple of nights ago they were in the process of getting all the grades and stuff transferred over from Appalachian State as he was finishing out the semester there to graduate. And then, if everything checks out, hopefully he could be in town as early as next week.
Austin, as you've had now a couple of weeks to digest, hey, okay, Aguilar's coming in. It's going to be Aguilar, Merklinger, and McIntyre competing to be the starter. What have you thought? How will you handicap it? What do you think about what will go into deciding who Tennessee's starting quarterback is going to be at the start of the season?
That's a great question. Obviously the most experience lies with Joey Aguilar, but the most experience in the offense lies with Jake Merklinger and then a little bit George McIntyre. I think all that depends on how quickly Joey Aguilar can adapt, can learn, can grasp what Josh Heupel and Joey Halsley want to do offensively, and then how he performs in fall camp. It'll be an open competition in fall camp, and it'll be on each guy to try to go out there and prove himself and earn the job come Syracuse.
What about guys who are injured, guys who had off-season surgery? How are they progressing? I think about our tight end. I think about linebacker, guys that had some injuries and were out during the spring. How are those guys progressing?
Miles Kitselman progressing really well. Expect him back for the start of fall camp. And, I think that's big, coming off the labrum injury he suffered back right around the 1st of March when he was on spring break training out of state. And then, everyone else is progressing nicely. Caleb Herring, Arion Carter, all those players that had some cleanup, David Hobbs, all progressing nicely and should be cleared and ready to go, really for the full summer term. But specifically on Kitselman, I think, he'll be ready to go come the first of fall camp. And here's the thing about Kitselman. I think he'll be cleared before fall camp. I'm not sure that they'll rush him along, though, because he's so far ahead of pace. I think you'd be careful with him. He's like an NFL vet. He needs about 2 weeks to get loose, get the rust knocked off, and go from there. He doesn't need a full fall camp, which will allow some of those younger guys that had nice springs to have an opportunity there too.
What are the roles? What do you think that tight end room looks like in terms of how it'll be used on the field this fall?
Well, it's Kitselman and Ethan Davis, and then after that, it's kind of flip a coin with some of those young guys. Jack Van Dorselaer obviously had a nice spring game. He would probably be the man that's most likely to be next up. And then you got Desan Brame, who was limited in spring but will be full go for fall camp, and Cole Harrison, same as well, the redshirt freshman from California. So it's the top two, and then after that, it's kind of flip a coin with the other three, just because lack of experience. But I would give Van Dorselaer the edge just because of the spring he had.
Also, PriceVolquest.com. Jacoby Thomas transfers to Miami. He was positioned to be the starter this year, Austin. How do you see the safety position kind of playing out now that there's a couple guys that went elsewhere?
Yeah, I think Idris Farouk will be beside Andre Turntine. I think Caleb Beasley will be back in the back end. And then some of those true freshmen will get a look as well.
Austin, who's the guy you think on the defensive side that will say, hey, he needs to have a big year? One name that would come to mind for me would be Arion Carter. You were mentioning his name a few minutes ago made me think of that. Would you say Carter? Would you go somewhere else, say this guy needs to have a big year for Tennessee's defense for what it wants to be in 2025?
Everybody. But I mean, in reality, Arion Carter makes a lot of sense. And then, I think any of the combination of Ricky Gibson or Colton Hood, the getting Colton Hood allows Jermon McCoy to have a little bit of wiggle room coming back. He doesn't have to rush back. Gives him some time to heal, and it makes Tennessee deeper, more experienced to the corner spot. But I think whoever's opposite, McCoy, or even if you go the combination of the two, they both need to have big years. Tennessee's defense, while maybe isn't as old as it was a year ago, still has lots of talent. And if the talent can figure it out pretty early, I think Tennessee's defense can be just as good.
You see Tennessee adding any pieces before the season starts?
As of right now, no. Nothing's set up. We're not hearing anything about Tennessee being involved with anybody. You never say never because you just never know what may pop up. But as of right now, nothing is set up. So it looks like, as of right now, your team is your team.
Hey, Austin, you may be surprised to hear we get asked about and talk about the wide receiver position on the show from time to time, especially in the last few weeks. And when that happens, we'll get an occasional, hey, don't forget Boo Carter and how important he could be at wide receiver this year. What do you think is a fair expectation? Where would you put that in terms of what Boo's role could be with the offense based on how things have played out so far?
Handful of catches, maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. I think that's fair. I don't think he's going to go out there and play 45 snaps a game at receiver. I think if you can get him 8 to 10 snaps a game, I think that's positive. Everybody loves to throw the Travis Hunter was just different and in a different conference. It's just more taxing to try to go both ways in this league compared to the Big 12. And, I don't think it'll be the same. So I think you'll see him play a handful of snaps. I'm sure he'll catch some balls, maybe get some end arounds. I'd say he'll, get an offensive touchdown or two. But I don't see him playing 45 or 50 snaps a game offensively.
Oh, so a couple catches and a couple touchdowns. That's 60 catches, about 12,
Swain.
15 touchdowns on the season, Austin. Did you say the season or per game?
Yeah, for the season. I think he'll get 15 to 20 catches and a couple touchdowns. I don't see him playing that much to get that many top yards and touchdowns that you just described.
I agree with you, Austin.
Yep, that is far more reasonable than Swain is trying to be.
I'm just messing around. I agree with you because it's a lot. We talked about it.
Yeah,
conditioning and everything it takes to do that. It's going to be tough.
Hey, Austin, I know you love a good over-under. Feel free to opt out if you want to because I'm switching sports on you. But over-under 1.5 wins for Tennessee baseball at home this weekend against Vandy.
It better be over.
That's a good answer. That's a great answer.
It better be.
If you're going to flip the script here and get the momentum going back the other direction, it really should have started last weekend. It did not. But it sure better start this weekend. It's hard to think they're going to go to Fayetteville and take the series down there, especially with Arkansas seeming to be peaking at the right time and coming off that series win over then top-ranked Texas.
Hey, Austin, what's going on at Volquest for people to check out? Volquest.com is the website. We didn't get to recruiting, traditional recruiting, so that and what else can people check out right now from Volquest?
Lots of coverage of baseball. We got some recruiting coverage. Matt Ray's got you covered on that. We'll continue to break down the roster. We'll talk, I said about 6 weeks ago or so that we were in posturing season. We finally reached recruiting season as we get here to the middle part of May, and you're going to have A65 Live coming up here on Memorial Day weekend, and a month full of official visits and lots of exciting time on campus over the next 6 weeks or so as far as recruiting is concerned. And we'll go ahead and set the over-under for Tennessee recruiting before I talk to you next week at over a half.
Oh, okay. How about that tease there, Swain?
So we got a commitment.
A commitment, perhaps, in the next 6 to 7 days. Okay, something to keep an eye on.
You never know. In this climate, it's always subject to change. But I do feel good about the over before I talk to you guys this time next week.
Okay. Well, Swain just pet the. We have a new orange dog in our studio, which we've been seeking names for. You might recall the orange dog from 2011.
You guys went and got Dooley's dog?
No, this is a miniature version.
It's
man.
a miniature,
That one's
much
too heavy.
lighter, easier to carry.
It's too heavy.
Orange dog, but for the positive vibes.
One of the Volquesters has Butch's trash can. That's legit. He used to be a manager, and he messaged me and was like, I know what the trash can is. It's in my bonus room.
Yeah, we got enough trash cans up in here. We don't need any more.
Swain's
What about
takes, though, we
Dooley's?
could use some more.
What about Dooley's stool?
You know what? We could use another stool in here.
Yeah, stool and a cane. Some name suggestions, by the way, Austin, then we'll get you out of here after the nonsense we're throwing at you. But tell me if you like any of these for names for
No
the dog.
Austin on there.
General, Admiral, Rocky, Crockett, Bo, or simply the Orange Dog. Bo would be short for Big Orange.
Yeah, I like Bo.
You like Bo?
I like Bo. It makes some sense. I want to know where Jeremy's Gator mask is.
Oh man, that's a good question.
Like that's a show all in itself. Like, we send like Eric Kane or somebody like that out in search of these cool artifacts in Tennessee history.
That's a great segment right there. The lost Tennessee artifacts.
Yeah, Pruitt's Gator. That's something I need cutting grass. I was looking for that.
The whiteboard that Pruitt kicked and dented on the sideline. That was a good one.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. We'll let you borrow the orange dog, man.
Yeah.
We'll name him Brent Austin.
Yeah. Or how about Lil AP? There was Lil Jerry Seinfeld, the Rooster. So we could go Lil AP.
Lil AP. Okay. Maybe.
We'll talk about it. Hey, Volquest.com.
Not even going to go there, guys.
Hey, AP, we appreciate the time as always. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks.